Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Farm. Thinking right out here and my wife in the book. It's about to get good now. Let's go. Here's where we are. The African origins, the beginning, the concept of things, the origin. So let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. It's all about spiritual with me. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice when daily will what? Help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka to know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I ask the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. And it's rhetorical. If you don't have to answer it for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, I got you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and think and believe that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself, and to my yacht, be true. We're going to talk about one of my favorite things, and it's all about myths, okay? Myths and its origins. Psychological, spirituality, metaphor, language, plots and themes, stories that gives you a reason and purpose to break and understand what they're trying to explain to you. So it's all about myths. Let's go. When I'm done, hopefully you'll have a better understanding of myths, because when I get done, I'm going to take you over to what I have for you next. Psychomythology. First, we're going to deal with the mythology. I get you started, then we're going to take off. All right, let's go. Myth and its origins. Right, thinkers? Let's talk about it. Myths define. We're going to define the myths and break it down for you. That was a long title there, so I just broke it down to myths defined. Yep, it's like American Heritage Encyclopedia and Random House Encyclopedia. Their definitions, I thought I had a Funkin' Wagner in there too, but we're going to break down their definitions of myths, so we'll be on the same page as we go forward. Let's go. Now, since the study of myths and mythic symbolisms in ancient scripture, iconographs, etc., signs and symbols, we will form an integral part of what? Comparisons of cultures. Now, we must first begin gaining a deeper understanding so we're on the same page when we're talking about the myths of what myth is. Feel me? Okay? It and what myth is, and its purpose. Again, I'm going to explain it to you as they got it. I'll say what I said, but I'm going to give you what their definition, so it won't be what, you said this, you said that. No, I'm going to give it to you. So I got my opinion. I can read, understand, and comprehend, so work with me. Now, with this understanding, now we may then undertake the ability to study of the Assyrian myth. That's the Asar, Aset, and Haru story. The mythology that the Christians call the Christ story, same concept, but they swear they didn't steal it, but another issue. But this is the story about your life. That book, Bible, is about your life, is what? Basic instructions before leaving Earth. We know that. That's what y'all say. Do y'all follow them? Do you use them? Moving on. A lot of y'all still keep coming back here to Earth. Why is that? Moving on. I digress. All right. But this is the story of the Assyrian myth. We telling you it's a myth. The Greeks tell you It's a myth. I got a whole degree in mythology, storytelling, breaking down, explaining philosophical points of view. They're myths used to tell stories. Everybody has them, even the Christians. Y'all ain't real. Oh, it's real. No, it ain't. It's a myth. Allegory is a myth. Astrological concept, it's a myth. The story about Christmas is about the damn sun, the S-U-N, not the S-O-N. Moving on, I'll get back to my lesson so I don't get me started. If I don't have boundaries, man, I'd be all over the place. So I need structure. All right, let's go. Now, in order to understand the Osirian myth or any other mystical story, there need to be understanding. And to be able to understand what they call the psycho-spiritual implications which are being imparted. We're giving you information that if you practice it like the Maya philosophy, you can manifest what we say for yourself. It's burning up here, but I'm going to do a little rough over here. All right, I go from cold to hot. All right, here we go. So now let's start out with what they said. The American Heritage Dictionary defines a myth as the following. They got three things they're going to say. The first one is a traditional story presenting supernatural beings, ancestors, or heroes that serve as a primordial type in a primitive view of the world. They're saying in the beginning, everybody has a story, but that's all we got. Nobody was there. So don't make fun of someone else's story because you got one, and what makes yours so not funny? Moving on. One say, man was born by Rod's tears. Another would say, they was born by ejaculation. Everybody got a story. So what makes yours any different? They're all the same thing. They're all the same thing. I'll just read the North. They say they found two logs and made man and woman. Everybody got a story how man and woman was made. Christians say that God picked up dirt and mud and spit in it or whatever he did and blew breath of life in it. Everybody have a theology, a mythological story to tell you the story of creation. Please understand that. Let's get back to the lesson. Sorry about that. At this point, all my followers, all y'all right things, y'all should be versed on this stuff. So I ain't gonna keep breaking it down like I'm talking to kids. It's grown folk business. Big bop, hoop bop, bam. I'm on some big boy stuff, so I can't hold your hand. Let's rock. Number 2, they said myth is fictitious or imaginary story, person or place. Okay, tell the Christian that about their Christ. Break that down to them right quick. See? This is myth. Their definition of the myth. Number 3, flat out, false belief. That's Christianity in a nutshell. They just said flat out a false belief. That's cold-blooded. That means the story you tell it don't mean nothing. Well, it's crap. Okay? That's the dictionary. I'm reading it. I'm not saying it. I'm reading it. And some things I got to agree with. I don't agree with all of them, but sometimes they get it right. They got that one spot on. I agree. Now let's talk about the American Heritage Dictionary. They define, what's the difference? American Heritage Dictionary. Now I got another American Heritage Dictionary. They define it. Now this is their side. They got two sides. A body of myths about the origin and history of a people. Creation story in the beginning. We the tears arrive, we the children, whatever you want to call it, that's a myth. The study of myths. Oh, that's mythology. Mythology, they got that coming up too. All right, what we got down here? The Random House. Okay, here we go. They got a little longer version. The Random House Encyclopedia defines a myth as myth, a body of myths or traditional stories, aka folklore, but it's dealing with who? Gods and legendary heroes. Haru. According to Joseph Campbell, I respect his gangster about that, According to Haru is another way of saying the hero in you. You have to bring out the hero in you. What? Through life's journey. We all have to take the same journey through life. Once we come here in the physical world, our journey begins as Haru, and you got to find the real you. I get it. I understand it. I agree 100%. Why? I got the philosophy pretty much says the same thing. That's why. And whatever you want to call it, if you practice it, you'll know. Again, that's why I know what I'm talking about. What? Some of the stuff I did myself. So I know just what they're talking about. And the hero, Haru. I got a buddy. This young man, I watched him grow up as a kid. Always a unique type of dude. Police officer in this hood, in this town. 28 years. Never fired his gun. That's a hero. My hero. I said, my man, you my hero. No. That little stuff I did don't come close to what you did. I'm not, I call him Haru for that reason. Okay, the hero. He brought the hero out himself and professed it, and the people who can benefit from him, they all respect him. All right, moving on. That's my dude. But that's what hero means. Haru means you finding you, knowing thyself, becoming Haru over the ego self. I'll break it down any way you want it. All right, here we go. And everybody got a concept. Got theirs too. All right, here we go. So the hero, the myth. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. The myth of people. It served to what? To present them with a worldview of themselves. The hero in you, the hero's journey, that's you going through life. Star Wars, they stole it and made zillions of dollars off it, okay? With their concept of Yoda. Now you're going to tell me I've been a traveling man 40 years. Now you're going to tell me Yoda is our... Get that. Stop. Moving on. Your new master, Luke, I am your father. It's a story. It's a myth. Excuse me. See how we get caught up? Why we get caught up? Moving on. All right, moving on. They get their concept. So get them a worldview. And it's really their explanation of what natural phenomenon and their religious and other beliefs. They feed you the myth, they teach you the ritual, and you're supposed to have the experience. I understand that. It just don't work out that way. Mythological literature, Bibles, Book of the Dead. Everybody got a book, the Iliad, the Odyssey. Ready? Go right here. Mythological literature includes, from the Greeks, the Iliad, the Odyssey. From the Scandinavians, the Edda. The Indians, the Ramayana. And the Babylonians, they got the Gilgamesh. And every one of these damn stories is the same. Everyone. Sorry, but I know, I read them. Excuse me. The same story. Various interpretations don't change the damn story of a myth have been made by what? Anthropologists who really misinterpreted stories such as Sir James Frazer and Claude Levi-Strauss. In literature, myths have been used as the basis for poetry, storytelling, playwrights, and other writings. They're stories to tell you to learn once you practice it. What I'm telling you don't do no good if you don't implement it. Again, that's a fact. That's what it's for, to learn. Putting work in now, boy. Yeah. All right. Now, myth. We talked about it. Let's get an excerpt from Compton's interactive encyclopedias. Let's see what he got to say. He says in big bold letters, mythology. Supposed to be an authoritarian, I guess. So let's get his version. The origin of the universe. See, sometimes if I were to be subjective, I can't wait to find something to harp on. I can't wait to find something to just jump on. But if you be objective, you pay attention and hear it all the way through, and then you may see and get to understand his point before you start ripping it apart. So that's what you want to give people. I don't know you're ignorant or smart until I hear what you got to say. Now, let's go. Mythology, according to him, the origin of the universe can be explained and have been explained even today by modern astronomers and anthropologists while archaeologists and historians also try to clarify the origin of human societies. Evidence, rocks, all that good stuff. Yeah, it's right there. That's evidence. Okay. Now, in the distant past, however, before any sciences existed, the beginnings of the world and society were explained by mythology. Pay attention. The word myth is often mistakenly understood to mean what? Fiction. Not real. Something that never happened. Therein lies the problem. A lot of people who see the myth, as we saw other guys defining it, because they see it as what? Just false belief. Bullshit. So, no, we ain't doing that. Okay. Now, with the word myth, by it being mistakenly understood to mean just that, a made-up story or a fanciful tale. That's all bogus. That's all wrong. Myth is really, now we get to the meat and potatoes. Again, let's hear it through. A myth is really a way of thinking about the past. What's that? Mercier Aliad, a historian of religions, watch this, once stated, myths tell only of that which really happened. It had to start from somewhere. You can add, take away. But like the fish story, goldfish. By the time that story has been told over the years and centuries, that goldfish is a damn whale right now. Okay? It's a giant whale by now. Start out with that. Some truth to it. And the cocaine, man, I tell you, when I was getting my cocaine, it was good enough I could put 3 times a cut with the cocaine. Shh. That's old school, 40 years ago. I don't know what they're doing now. But that's how I made my money. Okay? I bought the coke by the keys. I bought the cut by the pounds. Moving on. Okay. But what it's saying is, over a period of time, yeah, it has its origins and some better truth. That's why the Bible, if they don't put Egypt in there, they got nothing, no leg to stand on. Moving on. I'm just saying. So you got to use truth and build around a little bit. Some fluff. Like, make it look good, sound good. But this does not mean that the myths correctly explained and understood what literally happened. It does suggest, however, that beyond the explanation, there is a reality that cannot be seen and explained. There you go. I agree. Mythology, myth, and ology, break it down, is the study of study or scienceology of myths and their deeper implications in relation to mythology. The term epic comes to mind and is also used in a probably misunderstood terminology. Why? Because the American Heritage Dictionary defines an epic. The same one who said about the myth, the same people I'm reading from now, a long narrative poem that celebrates episodes of a person's heroic tradition. Is it just me? What the hell does that mean? A long narrative poem that celebrates episodes of people's heroic story. Again, something happened. Reliving something. Come on, really? That's like asking your boy, the president, what does the Declaration of Independence mean to him? He couldn't have made a bigger numbness of himself, and that's what they should be showing all over the world. A 4th grader can define the Declaration of Independence better than this guy. If you ask that little kid, Elon Musk's son, he run rings around him defining American. Stop. That's not a myth. That's a fact. Sorry about that. I got to take a shot every chance I get. I'm not going to not take the shot. Simple as that. The clock running down, ball in my hand, I'm taking the shot. So let's go. Metaphorically. Now, let's talk about my boys, Funk and Wagner. Let's see what they say about myths. Oh, we got another lesson coming. Don't worry about it. I see the clock. I got this coming. I'm about to run out this, so I got more. Let's go. Now, the Encarta / Funk and Wagnalls Encyclopedia defines an epic. This is what they feel and think about. When these are people write the definition, these are people encyclopedias, this is what they say, not me. Again, he got the same concept, a long narrative form, majestic, both in theme and style. Make it sound good, juice it up, like I say, okay, put 10 on 20, you know. If it's a little fish, it become a bigger fish. Okay? At a certain point, that fish now is a whale. Okay. But epics deal with legendary or historical events. My favorite in the Bible, David and Goliath. I know the metaphor. I know the symbolism and symbology behind it. I know it didn't really happen, but I love the story and what it means, so that's what I get from that story. So, and understanding. Why? Because you use historical events of national or universal significance. You can't tell a Christian that didn't really happen. You had to fight them. Moving on. So they don't get the symbolism and the more metaphors that they Bible book that they love so dear, and always misunderstand and misinterpret what's being sent to them. That's why 2,000 years, y'all still talking about, he spoke in parables. Really? Moving on. Get out of there. Leave that alone. All right, let me wrap this up. I see the clock. Now, see, universal significance, and it's always involving some action of what? A broad sweep and grandeur. Somebody's winning, somebody's losing. Big build-up, big crescendo. Yeah, all of that. The moral of the story, the shepherd boy who had God with him, didn't have no fear, the big bird, everybody scared of him, he handled his business. That's you, when, again, like journey, another part of the journey, overcoming the fears. Everybody else was scared. He wasn't, but Muhammad Ali fought him. Everybody scared but him. Again, but that really happened. I can rely on that. What? That's a fact. Moving on. You just put a little more to it, and now it becomes legendary. Moving on. Build it up, dress it up, and present it. The truth don't need to build or to dress. The truth don't need to be in shape. It don't need nothing. The truth is naked. Serve it that way. I could care less. I'm not dressing the truth up. I ain't got time. I'm giving it to you the way I get it. It's simple. Where we at down here? Okay, all the grandeur. But most epics deal with what? The exploits of a single individual. Make that individual you. The hero. Become your own hero. Become your own savior. You think Jesus coming back to get? No, you got to become your own savior, so to speak. All this is metaphorical and symbolical. Esoteric teachings that can metaphorically put you in a better position to think and do. Manifest. Thereby giving unity to what? To the composition. Typically, an epic involves the introduction of what? A supernatural force. Luke, use the force. That shape the action. My man, Black Panther, did his father come back and tell him, Haru, hell, Saul came and told him, be vigilant, fight your uncle, take him out, take your rightful spot and run the show. He gonna run it straight like the president is, straight to hell. Told you I'd take a shot at you just again. Alright, but the story goes, he gonna create conflict in the form of what? Battles, of which, or other physical combats. David and Goliath, set in Haru. It's a classic, good and evil. It ain't going nowhere. Night and day, it's never going to stop. And certain stylistic conventions, what? An invocation to the muse, a formal statement of what? A theme. Long list of what? Protagonists that's involved in what? Set speeches, couched in elevated language. Everybody want to be the speaker. And watch this. The commonplace details of everyday life may appear, but they serve as what? The background for the story. We all have a story. What's going around us, that's the background. We are the stars of our own stories of our lives. I hope you understand that. Okay? And watch this. Are we described in the same lofty style as the rest of the poem? These definitions I just read to you have been included here to give a reference of what society at large, especially in the West, right now, civilization, have accepted as what definition and purpose of mythological and epic literature. Now we will explore the initiatic yoga mystical meaning of myth. We're about to get the real deal. You ready? Fasten your seatbelts. First, however, there's always a however before we get started. One more definition is required before we get there. We need to understand what a metaphor is. Remember, these are all concepts that you need to understand so we can have an understanding as we're going through. The American Heritage definition defines a metaphor as follows, and it's going to end the lesson. I'm going to drop the pen on this one. A figure of speech in which a term that ordinarily designates an object or idea is used to designate a dissimilar object or idea in order to suggest a comparison or an analogy, as in the phrase evening of life. Okay, a double entendre, a double combo, but they usually say a bunch of nothing. We call it double talk. At the end, it said about the pale face. He speak with a forked tongue. He say one thing, but he means something else. Sound familiar? Hope you enjoyed the lesson. That's the definition of the myth. Oh, I'll be right back. Ooh, I couldn't read this, but I'm going to start with the mythology and the study of myths. How about that? And then I'm going to take it over to psychomythology. Let's go. This lesson's getting good. I'm teaching now. For all those tuning in, I appreciate you. This is what I do to enlighten you. And in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me 100 minus a day. So I now know that my right thinkers have passed away. You know how we do it.